Everybody wants to learn how to go from $0 to $10,000 a month, and there is so much BS in the marketplace of fake gurus just spewing a bunch of information that have never actually done it. This video alone is going to give you more value and more insight than most courses that are $5, $6, $7, $10,000 just to join. Most people online have made all of their money selling you their course material, their content, or their coaching, have never actually done it for themselves. You can see behind me, I have taken 7 different businesses to 7-figure run rates, 2 different businesses out of those 7 at 8-figure run rates. You can see the awards behind me. I have made all my money actually owning and operating online businesses, and today I'm going to show you the exact steps we have taken to go from $0 a month to making $10,000 a month as fast as possible. My businesses on average make anywhere from $600,000 to $800,000 every single month. We've peaked at 1.1 million in 1 month. So we've made $10,000 a month over 100 times now by using these specific strategies and tactics. You're probably overwhelmed by all of the different options and ways to make money on the internet. And you probably have shiny object syndrome, because I did go through that as a beginner getting started in the online space. There are so many scams out there nowadays because it is so easy to make it look like you're successful and you know what you're doing. And those people are just taking advantage of you feeling stuck and not knowing the best vehicle for you to make $10,000 a month repeatedly and give you the financial freedom an online business can give you. You have things like day trading. What they don't tell you is you need a lot of money to make a lot of money in day trading, because realistically, if you start with $100, it is going to take you a long time to actually have financial freedom from day trading. You have something like drop shipping, which number one has some of the lowest profit margins in any online space. You see all these people that they might be making $2 million, $3 million, $4 million a month, but they don't tell you that their margin is 1% and that they have to worry about disputes, refunds, returns. You have something like faceless YouTube channels that takes a lot of time and a lot of money to hire editors, produce the content, and then you're really just waiting for the YouTube algorithm to pick up your video. But if that never happens, you're never gonna see a return on your investment. I have a love-hate relationship with Amazon FBA. I have invested in stores, I've put money into it, and again, there is profit to be made, but you need a lot of money to start and to scale that profitably. And you're still going to have times where your item gets flagged for copyright, it gets taken down. You might get one stupid person that leaves a bad review, and now that listing is shot. And then you have crypto and NFT, and I don't even want to get started into how much money you could potentially make. You could get lucky, but again, you could lose it all in a second in crypto. The chances of you losing it all from a meme coin is very high. Or you could copy the exact same business model that I have used to make over, I don't even know how much money we've fucking made, up to $1 million months, like I have done over the last 10 years. So the business model I'm talking about is knowledge commerce. And the first step of knowledge commerce is figuring out who you want to sell to. Now, the big overarching theme of who you want to sell to is you need to think about 2 different things. You could sign up and go get 200 clients and they could pay you $50 a month, or you could get 2 clients and they pay you $5,000 a month. Now, I've been doing this for almost 10 years now, and the one thing that I've learned, it is much easier to work with somebody paying you more money. Number one, you can dedicate more time to that individual, and it's easier to sell 2 clients at $5,000 a month. The reason that it's actually easier to sell 2 people at $5,000 a month than it is to sell 200 at $50 a month is, number one, when you're selling something for $5,000 a month, the amount of value that you can bring and the amount of problems that you can solve for that client is going to be significantly higher than the amount of value that you can bring and perceived value that you can bring to somebody paying you $50 a month. What I like to do, especially in all of our businesses, is look at specific industries that I can actually make an impact in and I actually have experience in. So when I first got started, I was doing marketing for golf courses. Number one, I had a skill set of marketing and I had a lot of background in golf. So I said, hey, why don't I sell marketing to golf courses? Because it's super easy for me to, number one, bring value to them, but number two, I can talk the talk. So when I go into a meeting, I can use that language and my skill set to show them that, number one, I know what I'm doing in the marketing space, but number two is I know a lot about their industry, and that's going to make me stand out from somebody that just picks a random niche and goes and tries to sell them something without actually knowing about that specific industry that they're trying to sell in. The questions I want you to ask yourself when you're thinking about who do I want to sell to is, number one, where does my experience lie? Do I have any specific industries that I have experience in? Maybe, a few years ago, you were an insurance agent or you were a real estate agent. That could be an industry that you start off in. Or where do my interests lie? Again, like myself, I had a lot of experience in golf and a lot of interest in golf. So that was a natural progression for me to get into that industry. But if you have a knack for the gym or for fitness, that might be an industry that you pursue starting out. And then the last question that I want you to ask yourself is, who actually has money and who doesn't have money? Just to give you an example, again, me starting off in the golf industry, you have public courses and you have private courses. Well, as you probably know or could assume, public courses don't have as much money as private courses. So for us, we ended up going after the private courses that actually had budgets and were willing to pay us $5,000 a month. Another example is in the fitness industry. Do you want to work with a personal trainer that probably makes a few $1,000s a month but is working paycheck to paycheck? Or do you want to work with a big multi-location gym where, again, they can afford and they see value in paying somebody $5,000 a month to solve specific problems for them? The way that I would actually figure out what problems your specific avatar has and what solutions I can bring to the table for them to actually work with them as a paying client is going to be, again, the old school route of meeting with these specific business owners or specific individuals and understanding more about their business, how it works, and where they can improve. When I got started, my first priority was just sitting down with these specific types of individuals and understanding where I can come into the picture and solve a problem for them. So when we got started, we joined a golf course owners association, and part of that association was meetings monthly with golf course owners where they would talk about specific issues that they were having, and they would talk and kind of crowdfund these solutions that, if one course is having an issue, most likely other courses are having an issue. So by us joining those associations, we were able to understand the pain points, we were able to network and talk and understand and realize that marketing was something that a lot of them didn't know how to do and really didn't care to know how to do at all. Again, these are individuals that knew how to run a business, they knew how to run a golf course, how to make money, but they didn't understand the marketing aspect. So we were able to come in and provide that solution to those individuals. After you identify who you're going to be working with and some of the pain points and where they lack in their business, you want to start crafting your irresistible offer that's going to position your offer as the solution to the pain points that they have inside of their business. So when we got started, we realized golf courses had a following on social media, but they weren't leveraging their following. So we came in and we said, hey, you're not leveraging your following. You're not doing optimal social media posting. You're not creating content that you should to be able to leverage the 100, 200, 1,000 people that were on their Instagram pages and Facebook pages. So we came in and we said, hey, we have this solution. We have these specific posts that we can post that's not only going to re-engage all of these people that are already on your social media, but it's going to remind them to consistently come in and take advantage of their memberships or renewing, buying rounds, or even just reminding them of events that the courses were hosting to, again, get repeat customers and generate more revenue for them. So when we got started, our solution was, hey, we're going to leverage your social media pages and we're going to help re-engage your specific audiences that you already have. And then from there, we were able to transition into, okay, your audience is re-engaged. How do we grow that following? and from there transitioning them into paid ads to help them grow, generate leads, and really capitalize on more of a market that didn't know that they existed. But that's how we got started with golf courses. We would have never realized that that was a viable service to sell golf courses unless we actually understood and looked at the business in depth and not just on a surface level, and that came from having conversations with those specific business owners. At the end of the day, it does come down to money, but the two mechanisms are you could either make somebody more money or you could save them more time and free up more time for those individuals. For somebody that's an individual like a real estate agent or an insurance agent, that person, if they're already making a lot of money, they might value you saving them 5, 10, 15 hours a week by taking something off their plate. But if you look at a business that the owner is maybe only working 5, 10, 15 hours a week already, they're not going to value you coming in and saving more of their time. So they're going to value more of you coming in and helping the business generate more money. So again, that goes back to really identifying, what am I going to do for this business? What am I going to solve? And is it going to save them more time, or is it going to make them more money? So now you know who you're going to sell to and what you're going to sell them. The next step is, how am I going to actually get in front of these individuals and book appointments for me to speak with these specific people? So you really need to look at what platforms are available for me to reach out to these people. So if you look at golf courses, for us, cold calling was actually the best way for us to get in front of those individuals and book meetings for us to speak with those people, because they weren't on Facebook, they weren't on Instagram, they weren't on LinkedIn. These were traditional older people. So for us, honestly, the easiest way for us to get a hold of them was calling them up and emailing them and following up, kind of the old school traditional route. Now, if you look at other different industries and different businesses, you have things like LinkedIn, you have Instagram DMs, you have Facebook groups, and every single one of those platforms, every single one of those modalities is going to be a little different. And you're really, again, going to want to understand who your avatar is, because that's going to dictate what platform you're booking your meetings on. But at the end of the day, the biggest thing that you need to focus on is honing in on, where is my avatar online? Again, are you going to have to just cold call and send out mailers because they're not really online? Or are these individuals on LinkedIn and I need to get really good at LinkedIn, have an optimized LinkedIn profile? Or are they in Facebook groups and I need to get really good at joining Facebook groups, being an active member, liking, commenting, so that I'm an established authority in those groups, allowing me to then reach out and book meetings over DM? Or again, is it on Instagram? So I need to focus on creating content on Instagram, having an optimized Instagram page, growing organically, and then doing outbound DM outreach on Instagram. But at the end of the day, whatever platform or whatever modality you choose to book those meetings and book those appointments is going to be determined by your audience and your avatar and where they live in the ecosystem. And when you're reaching out to these individuals, whether they're on LinkedIn, they're on Instagram, even if you're just picking up the phone and cold calling, you need to have an offer that within 5 seconds, somebody can understand what you can do for their business. So when we got started in the real estate space, again, we had transitioned out of golf courses into real estate. Our offer was, hey, Mr. Real Estate Agent, we can get you 5 to 10 booked appointments with qualified individuals every single week. Is that something you might be interested in? I can tell that to somebody on the phone. I can cold call them. They're not going to hang up on me because I just explained exactly what I do for them, and it's something that is a pain point to them. I'm able to tell them exactly what I'm going to do for them, and it is the solution to their pain point. So again, another example might be insurance agents. Now, insurance agents don't work off of appointments, they work off of leads. So if I'm reaching out to an insurance agent, I might be able to say, hey, Mr. Insurance Agent, would you be interested in how we're able to get you 50 more leads every single week on autopilot? Again, whatever your offer is, whatever you're doing for these individuals, number one, that outreach message, whether, again, it's a DM, whether it's, you're posting in a group saying, hey, I'm able to do X, Y, and Z for your business, or you're calling them or you're emailing them, you need to very quickly and very briefly say, this is what I can do. and it also has to be something tangible. So I can get you 5 more booked appointments every single week. I can help you close 3 more listings every single month. I can help your course generate an extra $20,000 of revenue every single month without paid ads. Whatever it is, you need to have a tangible offer with a specific number that is solving their specific pain point. And then from there, when you book that meeting and when you're talking to them. And then one last thing to really think about when you're crafting your offer in that message that you're going to be using, whether it's DMs or cold calls, is number 1, what are competitors doing? And number 2, how are your prospects reacting to your message? And those 2 things are going to dictate your success with your outreach. So number 1, you get into it, you look at what your competitors are doing. And if all of your competitors, again, let's use real estate as an example. If all your competitors are saying, hey, I can get you 50 leads a week, I can get you 100 leads a week, I can get you 100 leads a month. If all your competitors are talking leads, and you go out there and say, hey, I can do them one better, I can get you 5 booked appointments a week. Number 1, now you're going to be able to stand out from your competition, but you know that number 1, you are offering them a solution to their problem, but you're offering a better solution than your competitors. The other thing to think about is how are your prospects reacting to your messages? If you're saying something to them, you've sent out, let's say 20, 30, 50 DMs and you haven't heard anything back, nobody's saying anything, or maybe they're just saying not interested, thanks for the message, not interested, it means your offer isn't compelling enough and it isn't strong enough. So you might need to take it one step further, or you might need to change up your offer and really touch on a different pain point that they have, or the pain point you picked and the pain point you thought, was an actual issue for that specific industry wasn't an actual issue because they're not taking you up on your offer. So you really need to understand, what are your competitors doing? How can I stand out from my competition? But then number 2, how are my prospects reacting to my messages? What are they saying back to me? Are they actually interested in my offer? Because if they're not actually interested in your offer, you're never going to get your first client. But if you can hone in on, these prospects are actually interested in what I'm offering and I'm standing out above and beyond my competition, that's the winning formula to be able to scale to $10,000 a month quickly. And then after a prospect replies positively, in our industry, we call them PRs, or positive replies, positive responses. After they reply, yes, I'm interested, yes, I'd like to learn more, you simply transition them to a booked appointment and ask, hey, we can absolutely, I'd absolutely love to show you more. When's a good time I could give you a ring? When's a good time we could book that appointment? Sometimes people will send out a calendar link for them to schedule, and we really don't ever recommend doing that because number 1, if you're reaching out to somebody and then you're just sending them a link expecting them to book an appointment with you, the chances of them, number 1, are doing it, it's also kind of rude. So we always recommend taking the positive reply, taking the PR, and asking them specifically, like, absolutely, we can set up a time to chat. I'd love to show you this. What's a good email for you, or when's a good time that I could reach out? And then from there, after they give you a time, you could go ahead and you could just schedule that and call them at that specific time. But we recommend furthering it after you have a specific time, asking for an email, and then actually booking the appointment and sending out that specific appointment confirmation to increase the chance of them actually showing up for that specific appointment. But at the end of the day, it's that simple to get somebody from a introduction offer message to a booked appointment. And it's really about sending out 100, 200, 1,000 messages, getting your positive replies, understanding if I need to book 5 appointments a day, I might need to send 100 DMs or 100 emails to get 10 positive replies. And out of those 10 positive replies, 5 of those go to an appointment. But that's where I'm going to have scalability and predictability in my business. And at the end of the day, it's just math. It's understanding if I reach out to X amount of people, I'm going to get Y appointments. And if I get Y appointments, I'm going to have that many opportunities to pitch and sell my specific service. So once you get on an actual meeting with a prospect, we have a very simple 3-step structure to position you, number 1, as an authority and as a consultant, but then also actually identify the pain point, the prospect understands that they have that pain point, and then being able to present them that solution. And it's a very simple 3-step process. The first thing is establishing the pain point. Again, in AA, step number 1 is addressing and agreeing that you actually have an issue. And that's what you're going to do in the first part of your specific sales call, is getting them to agree that they have an issue or they have some kind of deficiency in their business. Again, whether it's that they're not optimizing a specific mechanism to make more money, or that they could be saving time by working with you. Whatever it is, you need to establish that specific pain point. After you've established with that prospect that they have that pain point, you're able to present your solution to that individual. And then step 3 is very simply making them the offer that if you want to work with me, if you want me to solve your problem, I can do it for X amount of money. So everybody talks about really thinking that they need to be the best salesperson in the world to get on meetings and to sell people, and it's really not the case. The only hard part about sales is handling objections, and there's only really about 5 or 6 objections that you need to master, and that can be as simple as writing those objections down, whether it's spouse, whether it's price, whether it's needing to think about it, and have your cheat sheet of those 5 or 6 objections that you're hearing from those prospects. Memorize them, identify what your replies are, and it's that simple to now get somebody on the phone, pitch them your product, handle those objections, and send out that invoice to get them to pay and start working with you. So after somebody actually signs up and is a client of yours, there's a couple different things that you need to do to make sure that you have a successful transition from somebody signing up and giving you money to a happy and repeat customer. The first thing is having an onboarding call where you can establish the deliverable and establish expectations, so they're not coming in and have false expectations that you're going to start making them $50,000 a month within the first week. Again, that's obviously not realistic, so you need to have set specific expectations of the time frame and how you will actually solve their problem. And then after that, it's as simple as starting to execute on whatever you're going to do for that client. And then also making sure that you're keeping that client up to date, whether it's on a weekly basis or a monthly basis, with progress reports of your work being done. So in some businesses, we send out a monthly report showing them we were able to help them rank, X amount higher, or get them this many more leads, this many more appointments. But if it's a little bit less tangible and it's something where the project is going to take a few weeks or a few months to execute on, you're going to want to send them progress reports saying, hey, this week, this month, we accomplished X, Y, and Z. Here's the progress on this specific project, so that they see that, number one, they're paying you money and they're getting a return on that money, or they can actually see that, okay, over the last 4 months, I was able to get you 30 booked appointments, even though last week there might have been 3, the week before that or the week before that, they had 15 or 20, and they already forgot about that because last week stuck. So at the end of the day, it is making sure that you're being proactive with your reporting and with your progress reports, so that the client, number one, trusts you. They understand that working with you, they are going to have transparency, and that the money that they're paying you is going to good use, and that they're not going to have to be babysitting you to make sure that you're doing your job properly. And at the end of the day, if you're actually executing on what you're supposed to be doing for them, they're going to start to see results. They're going to stick on as a customer. They're not going to be a headache. They're going to be a happy client. Your goal after somebody signs up with you is to make sure that you have transparent reporting with the client to give you the most chance of retaining that client for life. So now I've explained everything from a bird's eye view of what it's going to take you to go from $0 to $10,000 a month. But you have one thing that's missing, which is that accountability and that community that's going to have you taking action every single day, getting you making that $10,000 a month as fast as possible. My secret over the years of how I've been able to scale my businesses predictably and in not the fastest time as possible, but in a very respectable amount of time, has been actually being a part of communities and groups that everyone had the same mindset as me and actually had the same goals as me, taking very similar actions to start their own business and scale their own business. When I got started, I had learned marketing and I had this skill set of marketing, but I had no idea how to actually build a business. And what I did is I invested in coaches and I invested in communities of like-minded individuals that were taking the exact same actions as me, and these coaches that were already in the same position that I wanted to be in. And I was able to, number one, learn from those coaches, bounce ideas off of them, and understand where they were and the actions that it took for them to get there, but then also surround myself with like-minded individuals that were also sending DMs, doing cold outreach, getting on sales calls, not with my specific individuals, not with my specific avatar selling the same thing I was, but doing the same process and going through the same motions that I was, so that if I ran into an issue with Facebook DMs, or if I ran into an issue with cold calling, or there's a better way to cold call, a better script, a better way of doing things, I had this community of individuals that I could bounce ideas off of, learn from, and really grow together. So that's why we've put together and have available to you Setterlun University, which is a group of online business owners, everybody from just starting out and getting started, taking the actions that you are watching this video, and up to some people making $1 million a month with my businesses and with everybody else in between. So we invite you to join Setterlun University. Again, you are going to get access to the exact frameworks and exact systems that we use to help individuals start and scale their online businesses. So if you were going through this video and you're like, what does my pitch deck look like? How do I send an invoice? What systems do I use? What's an exact script? What's an exact DM script framework that I can use? We have that available all inside of Setterlun University. Everybody bouncing ideas, bouncing strategies off of each other, so that we can all win together. And when you get chargebacks, when you get disputes, when you have clients bitching, you're actually going to be able to reach out to people that have gone through every single situation that you're going to go through as a business owner. And you're gonna be able to get advice regarding any situation that you might run into with your business. We have been through it all. We've gotten sued by Nazis for literally sending out text messages to wrong numbers. We had an in-office team of over 20 individuals in the Dominican Republic, opened that up, hired a manager without ever visiting the Dominican Republic. So we have done a lot of crazy stuff, a lot of things that you might get into those situations. I hope you never get into those, but we have been through it all. It's day-to-day life for us. So you're gonna be able to network and actually get good advice from people that have been through it, that are gonna actually also hold you accountable to make sure that you are taking the actions that you need to be taking to scale and to give you the financial freedom of getting to that $10,000 a month mark. You're gonna be able to avoid the mistakes that we've made, and at the end of the day, you're gonna get to making that $10,000 a month faster than any other course, community, guru out there that has never really done it themselves. And to learn more about Setterlun University, click the first link in the description, and I'll see you inside.